But yeah, I looked at it.
We have from Ward 1, Andre Knight. From Ward 5, Tom Rogers. From Ward 6, W.D. Bullock. Ward 7, Chris Miller. And also from Ward 3, Reverend Richard Joyner. With that, I'm going to hand the mic back over to Mr. Willie Ratchford. He comes to us from WPR Consulting for a welcome. Thank you.
Good evening. Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, thank you. Again, my name is Willie Ratchford, and I drove up from Charlotte to be with you all this afternoon to assist you all in facilitating this meeting this afternoon. As I'm sitting here looking at you, it occurs to me that I have seen many of you on different occasions come to these meetings and others, and it is my hope that you have been learning some things as you have come. And I know some of you keep wondering, why is it that you come back? Well, that reminds me of a story of a little boy who started school for the first time this year, went to first grade. And on his first day of school, he went in, he had a really nice time, and he got back home. And his uncle was visiting his family, and his uncle asked him about his first day of school. So he says, "So I understand you went to school today?" And the young man said, "Yes, I did." And the uncle said, "Well, did you learn anything?" And the young man said, "I don't think so. I got to go back tomorrow." And so you guys keep coming back tomorrow, so I'm hoping that you're learning things as you go. As you all are aware, this is the Atlantic-Arlington Corridor Land Use Study Open House. And we have a full evening, and we're going to move relatively quickly. And in order for the process that we've laid out in the agenda to work, we're going to need everybody's cooperation. We need everyone to cooperate with us. I'm going to go over the agenda in a minute, but at some point we're going to get into what I'm calling speed dating with the different stations around the room. And as I'm looking at the numbers, my guess is that there are about somewhere between 60 and 80 people here tonight. We have 6 tables or 6 dating stations, and we want you to engage with one another and table facilitators at each of the tables at some point. And we're going to need anywhere from 12 to 14 people per table. If we end up with a table with like 40 people, that's not going to work. We need 12 to 14 people per table. And as you go about the tables, please try to go to a table with people that you don't really know well. We want there to be an exchange of ideas with people that you normally might not connect with, because that's important in this process. But again, no more than 12 to 14 people per table. And when you're at the tables, you're going to have about a 12-minute process where some information is going to be presented to you, and you're going to get an opportunity to react to that information, and then we'll move you to the next table. Myself and someone else that I'll identify in a minute will keep up with the time, but when we tell you that it's time to move, we need you. So if you're at the table here, and we have a table here and a table there, these folks will move to this table, that table will move to that table, the people at the table right there will move over here, this table will move to this table, and this table will come to this table. And we will do this until such time as we've exhausted the group tonight. Y'all got that? Okay, so let's quickly go over the agenda. We've had this quick little welcome. After I finish, we're going to have someone who's going to do a 5-minute opening comments, someone from the Community Academy. Then we're going to have someone to talk to you about the corridor planning process that has been going on, as I understand it, for quite a while now. But someone is going to speak to that, someone from Development Services. We will then engage into the small group discussion that I just explained. And we're going to spend about 75 minutes in the small group discussions. Then we're going to have small group report outs. The table facilitators will be taking notes with each group that they speak with, and then there's an expectation that near the end of this process, they will share some of the highlights of the discussion and information that they have, feedback that they have received from you. Then we're going to get out of here. But during the process, we're going to have 6 questions using text to poll. And so in order for that to work, I need to know who all brought your cell phones with you tonight. Come on, I see like 3 people. Okay, if you brought your cell phone tonight, we're going to answer questions that are up here on the screen. And in order to answer the questions, you need to text the number up here, 22333. And then in the text box, you're going to type in gmiller005. And that will get you into the system. And then we're going to answer a series of questions. And the information will tabulate up here on the board. It will give us an idea about who is here by age, who is here by neighborhood, and some other information that we think will be important to this process. And so we're going to go ahead and start that now, and then afterwards we'll have someone to come up and do the quick welcome again, and then talk about the planning process. So I need you to pull out your cell phones, please, and text 22333. And in the box, in the text box, type in gmiller005. And the question up on the board is, how long have you been a resident of Rocky Mount? If you have been a resident of Rocky Mount for 1 to 10 years, you're going to type in A. If you've been a resident 11 to 19 years, you're going to type in B. And if you've been a resident 20 years or more, you're going to type in C. Okay, to start off, you're going to text, you're going to put 22333, and then down in the text box, or the message box, you're going to put gmiller005. Okay, now here we go. Okay, keep putting in your responses. We're going to take about 20 more seconds, and then I'm going to lock those in. Okay, so at this point, 33%. Oh, well, let me just shut up until you finish. Okay, so 29% of you have been here between 1 and 10 years. 7% have been here between 11 and 19 years. And then 67% of you have been here 20 years or more. That says that you guys are really invested, the majority of you are really invested in this community. Okay, let's go to our next question. Let me lock this out. What is your neighborhood? If you're in Central City, we want you to type in A. If you're down east, B. Holly Street, C. South East Rocky Mount, D. And if it's another neighborhood, put other, which is E. Okay, so 76% are from other neighborhoods. No one is from Southeast Rocky Mount. 12% Holly Street, down east is 6%, and Central City is 6%. Okay, we're going to lock that in and we'll provide this information to you later. Okay, touchy question. And this information is confidential, by the way, so you can be honest with your age, okay? So what is your age? 0 to 21 is A, 22 to 39 is B, 40 to 59 is C, and if you're 60 or older, like Archie, then it's D. Okay, so we got a real good representation age-wise. 45% of you are 60 or older. 40 to 59, 25%, and 22 to 39, 30%. So this gives us a picture, these three graphics gives us a picture of who is actually here tonight. And then we're going to do some additional text to polls later on in the process, and the questions will get more interesting as we go along. At this time, we're going to ask the representative of the Community Academy to come forward to do a stakeholder opening comments. And this is Sue Perry. Everyone say hello to Sue Perry.
Good evening, everybody. He already stressed me out with all that texting. I'm not one of these computer savvy people. Anyway, good evening and welcome to the Atlantic-Arlington Corridor Land Use Study Open House. Welcome. My name is Susan Perry Cole. I'm a member of the Down East Community Neighborhood Association, and I've been residing for 35 years in the study area in the same house on Rose Street, just a couple of doors in from Atlantic Avenue. Now, I've been invited to provide some brief remarks tonight as a community stakeholder who's been involved in the city's corridor study land use planning process since 2018. Let me start with a question, and you don't have to use your phone, so don't get nervous. What's the purpose of planning, and why should we as neighborhood residents be interested and involved in the planning process? So let me quote from a gentleman from Alabama who has a well-established reputation for achieving excellence and success. Paul Bear Bryant was the legendary coach of the University of Alabama football team for over 25 years. And he once said in reference to planning, have a plan. Follow the plan, and you'd be surprised how successful you can be. Most people don't have a plan. That's why it's easy to beat most folks. So I guess that answers that question. As I understand it, a corridor plan responds to specific problems or localized issues that require more detailed analysis and outreach than can be managed through the city's comprehensive planning process. The process provides a wider base of data collection and public involvement for the area that would be used or otherwise available. We residents understood that the backbone of any planning process involves effective community engagement. I can recall a meeting very, very clearly with 3 neighborhood association presidents from the study area, and some others took a very firm position with city leaders. And incidentally, we did make contact with our city council representatives as well. And we took the position that the corridor study must involve stakeholder engagement, that it was mandatory, that it was non-negotiable. We residents demanded every interested stakeholder who wanted to have an opportunity to participate should be given that opportunity from the start so that we could foster a shared vision. As a result, a community conversation was convened on December 13, 2018. And I'm so proud of you as residents of the area because when that invitation was made to community residents, you responded in very large numbers to the invitation. And I want to hold up so that you can see it. Here is the document that was produced from that December 2018 community conversations in writing. It's documented. We know that you spoke and we know that you had priorities. And we hope that you see your voice in some of the feedback that you're going to hear tonight. Meanwhile, ongoing involvement between residents of underserved communities who participate in the Community Academy and planners in the city's Department of Development Services resulted in enlarging the conversation, and very importantly, it created and enlarged the trust between the general public and these city officials. Proof of that growing trust is that you're here, you've been invited here again tonight, so that you can be briefed on the content of the draft plan. This draft plan outlines a relationship between the corridor and the community's historic identity. It profiles linkages between the corridor and housing and economic development and business development needs. It outlines how open space and urban agriculture fit into the study area. The study area links these various components, that is housing, business, and other institutions in our community, in painting a picture of the future we as area residents and city officials see for the neighborhood going into the future. Let me end with one thought. Today, it's very ironic, today, on the front page of the Telegram is a feature story. Our city manager is quoted in making a presentation to the Rotary Club. The data that she presented was extremely sobering. I won't quote all of the data. I'll simply say that one of the statistics indicated that 1/3 of children under 18 in our city live in poverty. People, we have a very serious challenge on our hands in terms of improving the quality of life in Rocky Mount's under-resourced neighborhoods. And they didn't get this way overnight, and they're not going to be restored to what they can be overnight. We need a long-term vision. The road to success will require that we plan, that we work hard, and most importantly, that we speak with one voice and unify ourselves so that our collective power can be used to realize our dreams. I hope you see your feedback reflected in the reports that you will receive tonight, and thank you so much for setting aside time and attending this session. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. We will now hear from a representative from Development Services who will give a brief review of the planning process.
Good evening again. As you heard, this plan and the process with this plan has been months in the works. We started really back in early 2018 as a result of the downtown implementation strategy plan having some holes in it. We felt that going a little bit further, doing more community engagement was a worthwhile activity to pursue. So that's what we've done. The study area is on the east side of downtown, the Atlantic Avenue and Arlington Street corridor, starting up at the intersection with Highway 64 down to Raleigh Boulevard at the foot of the bridge. There's about 150 acres included in the study area and about 425 parcels of property. The land use study the purpose of it is to serve as a guide for elected officials, staff, stakeholders, to use for development into the future, to guide and make decisions as we move into the future. We've had a number of community outreach activities. We had a steering committee of the Community Academy. There were bus tours, meetings with property owners, residents of adjacent neighborhoods. And finally, we're here this evening to sort of wrap things up, get more feedback, and hopefully soon move forward with adoption of the study. There are 6 elements in the study, and there's a station for each of those elements around the room tonight. We have staff from the city who will give you brief informational presentations about the content of the plan, share the goals for that section with you, objectives and strategies to meet that goal, and also recommendations specific to that topic. Again, I'm pleased to see everyone here this evening. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Willie, who will give us guidance on how we should move about the room this evening. Thank you.
All right, let's hear it for Joseph. Okay, guys, it is now time to start speed dating. And the tables we have set up to my right here is housing. We have urban design right here in the middle. We have land use and zoning in the corner over here. And we have targeted redevelopment areas over here. We have public utilities and infrastructure here. And we have transportation here. And again, we need no more than 12, 13, maybe 14 people per table. And you're going to have 12 minutes to listen and ask questions and make comments. And so we need you to start moving now. You have gone around the different tables and listened to what the information that has been provided, and couple that with the thoughts that you had about this study and what's going to happen in the community prior to getting here tonight. What is your top priority for the Atlantic-Arlington corridor? Is it land use and zoning, urban design? Is land use and zoning A, urban design is B, housing is C, transportation is D, and public utilities and infrastructure is E. Go ahead and text now. You have about 30 more seconds to text it. Okay, so let's see what stands out for everyone. And actually, this is the table that got the most attention as you all were going around. We had people who were speed dating, but they were cheating on their dates because they were sneaking over here to the housing table. And it plays out up here. Housing at 50%, land use and zoning, and urban design at 5%. And everything else is at 14%, with the exception of transportation. And so I'm going to go ahead and lock this in right now. And the next thing that we want to do is capture a picture of your vision for this community. In 5 years, what is one word or phrase you hope would describe the Atlantic-Arlington corridor? And you can type in what your response is. No responses yet? Well, maybe we'll help to find activated. Okay, so let me give you some examples of what you might consider. Things like a vibrant economy, preserved neighborhoods, mixed income housing, communities that are walkable. Keep typing, thriving, vibrant, revived. Surely you have a bigger, better vision than this.
I need to reactivate.
Okay, there we go. And it's okay to repeat phrases. If you see something up there that you like and you want to put that and do that, and it will just show up here. There you go. So again, housing seems to be doing quite well. Come on, keep talking to me, please. Surely you have more ideas for this. This is the future of your community. What is your vision? What do you think it should be? Say again? Yes, they can answer more than once. If you want to answer 10 times, that's fine. And so the way this works, the larger the fonts up here, that means you have more responses of that type. So the things that are standing out are housing, one that's thriving, mixed income, community. Yeah, housing continues to be a big one of you. But keep on, let's see if we can fill the whole screen. You can, and again, you can give more than just one response. Something that's desirable, inclusive, affordable, non-gentrified, productive, strong, walkable. Something that is equitable, livable, revived, dynamic use, income sense, community, education. Okay, we're going to give you about 30 more seconds to enter anything else that you think should has received the maximum. Okay. Okay, so this is the picture that you all have in terms of what this community should look like at some point down the road once this study is actually implemented. And so I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. Okay, there you go. And you now may move to your next station. Thank you. Women in the audience, get more victims of the cook supper or make it think you are okay. She says that's good for her. Okay, we have one additional text to poll, and then we're going to ask Joseph if you will come up and take about 2 minutes or so to close us out. So listen up, you need to pull your phones off for the last text to poll, and this is the question that you're going to answer. We want you to think about the experience that you had tonight walking around to the table, the experience you had with regards to the feedback you got from city staff, the feedback you got from your friends and your neighbors. And when you consider all that, provide one word which describes how you are leaving tonight's meeting. One word which describes how you are leaving tonight's meeting. Optimistic. I want to talk to you guys. One word which describes how you will live tonight after tonight's experience. Hopeful. Come on, guys, talk to me. Talk to me. Accomplished, rejuvenated, excited, hopeful, optimistic. Talk to me. One word which describes how you will be leaving here tonight after tonight's experience.
Oh, you're fine.
Informed, optimistic, hopeful, accomplished, challenge, maintain, transparency, empower. It seems like the most frequent response is informed. Okay, you got about 30 more seconds to give a response, and then I'm going to lock it out. This is good news because it seems that most of you have a pretty good feel about tonight's meeting. This is good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it out now. And I'm going to ask Joseph if he come up and talk about the next steps in the process. Okay, we got people still to take it. I'm going to lock you out anyway.
Come on, man.
Okay, Joseph, let's get Joseph your attention, please.
Really, thank everyone for your input tonight, and again for coming out. There are still a couple steps left prior to the adoption of this study, but before I talk on that, I did want to point out that the information that you got tonight and the feedback that you've given, including the polls here, will also be included in the plan as an appendix. All of the notes from the previous public meetings are going to be included in the appendix. Staff is really proud of what we put forth with the draft. We really feel that the outreach and feedback has been tremendous, and really feel that the public, has ownership in the document. So that's my take. The draft of the plan is available on the city's website. We'll work with our technology department to get a link on the homepage in the morning. So if you're interested in reading the document in full, which I hope you are, please visit the website and do so. We'll also make available a link for you to email any comments that you may not have been able to share tonight. To have the study adopted, we will be presented to the city's planning board, and the planning board will in turn make a recommendation to the city council. We'll work with our communications department to get word out as to when those meetings will be taking place. Again, thank you for coming out tonight, giving us your time and feedback. Willie has one other thing.
Okay, this will be quick. This is just to close us out. As I have thought about what it is that you all are doing tonight, what I see is a village. And this village is building a foundation, a future foundation for young folk in the community. So I'll leave you with this African proverb that says, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. So you're making sure that the children don't burn the village down because you're providing a future for them. Thank you for your time and good night.